Hello, my dear students. I hope you all have been doing well. So today we are going to discuss about the carbohydrate. That is one another biomolecule, and this topic is a part of my journal science class. Um, that is coming under the basic concept of biochemistry. So in general science class we are right now discussing about the basic concept of biochemistry, in that we are studying about carbohydrate. We have already studied about protein and amino acid. Now this lecture is about carbohydrate, and in this lecture we are going to study about what are carbohydrates, how they look like, and what is their classification, what are their different types, and what are their basic function. So let's start from here. So if I'm talking about the carbohydrate, and I'm going to see their simple definition. So carbohydrate are polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketones. So what does this mean? It means that carbohydrate are these organic molecule or organic means substances. They may have multiple hydroxyl group or multiple ketone group. And here is the general formula of carbohydrate: CH2O. N means we are having the multiple type of these all groups. These CH2O, multiple type, many CH2O. So here we are having different example of carbohydrate, how they are looking like. I'm having a structure of D galactose, and it is and we are having the structure of D glucose. And D glucose is very simple carbohydrate. And if I'm talking the D glucose, so it is having multiple hydroxyl group, and we are having it is an aldehyde, and we are having another type of D glucose, that is D fructose. It is having ketone group. So from here, this slide, you just have to understand that one thing: the definition of carbohydrate, very simple definition of carbohydrate. Carbohydrate are the substances that are having polyhydroxy uh, uh, that are polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketone, and they are having general formula CH2ON. And very simplest carbohydrate is D glucose or D fructose. And so we are having two broad type of carbohydrate. One type on the basis of the group they are having. If they are having aldehyde group, so we say them these are aldoses. If they are having ketone group, so we are saying them these are ketoses. So we are having a picture, structure of a carbohydrate. We are having here an example how you can identify either they are aldoses or ketoses. So we are having very simple 3-carbon sugar, that is glyceraldehyde. And if in case carbohydrate is aldoses or aldo sugar, so it would be having thermal it would be having an aldehyde group. So this is a 3-carbon sugar, that is having an aldehyde group. So aldehyde group would be present on the terminal carbon, means on the top or on one side of the carbohydrate. And then ketosis would be having a ketone group at C2 position. So if the carbohydrate are aldoses, so we can also say them means are very simple. If a carbohydrate is having aldehyde group and having 3-carbon atom, so we name it as a glyceraldehyde. This is a aldotriose. And if it is a carbohydrate that is having 3-carbon atom and having a ketone group, so we can name it as a dihydroxyacetone or a ketotriose, due to the on the basis of the presence of 3 carbon atom. So this is a two broad type. You have to just keep in mind, I am summing up from the first slide. Carbohydrate are polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketone, and they are divided into two subtype, two broad type: aldosis or ketosis. Aldosis, all those are that are having aldo group or aldehydic group, or ketosis are all those that are having ketone group. So we are now going to study about the different classes of carbohydrate. Carbohydrate may be monosaccharide, oligosaccharide, and or polysaccharide. So what are monosaccharide? Monosaccharide are all those that are having that are having only one carbohydrate unit, or a single polyhydroxyaldehyde or poly or ketone unit. um, or monosaccharide are all those that are very simple sugar, that are having only one carbohydrate unit. So what does mean by one carbohydrate unit? One carbohydrate unit means the carbohydrate, that unit, that monomer would be having 6 carbon atom, in addition with one either aldehydic group or either the ketonic group. So as we can see here on the right hand side, we are having monosaccharide, that is a D-glucose. It is having 6 carbon atom, and it is having a aldehydic group. So including this aldehydic group, it is having 6 carbon atom, and it is having many hydroxyl group also. So the monosaccharide are all those that are only based on only means one carbohydrate unit. So this is one carbohydrate unit. And what are the oligosaccharide? If we are having more than 2 till 20 these type of monomeric unit, monomer carbohydrate that join with each other with a glycosidic bond. So these would be oligosaccharide. So what are oligosaccharide? Oligosaccharide are all those carbohydrate, they may be in them either 2 or more than 2 monomeric carbohydrate join with each other via a glycosidic bond. So we would be discussing in coming slide what is a glycosidic bond, but from here you have to just keep in mind that monosaccharide are simple sugar, monosaccharide are only one carbohydrate unit that is having 6 carbon atom, or with the aldehydic or ketone group in addition with. And oligosaccharide are those carbohydrates that are having either 2 or more than 2 monomeric carbohydrate that join with each other via glycosidic bond. So monosaccharide may be a disaccharide, monosaccharide may be triasaccharide. So if we are having 2 monomeric carbon atom, monomeric carbohydrate that join with each other via glycosidic bond, so they would be a disaccharide. So we are having few example of disaccharide. One is saccharose, that is very abundant disaccharide, one of the type of oligosaccharide, and it is having D-glucose that is joined with D-fructose via a glycosidic bond. So this is we are having here saccharose. Saccharose is having one glucose unit, and that is a monomer carbohydrate, and join with join with the fructose via glycosidic bond. So saccharose is an example of disaccharide, and we are having another example of oligosaccharide, that is a raffinose. This is a triasaccharide. So it is having 3 monomeric carbohydrate. So one is galactose, one is glucose, one is fructose that join with each other via a glycosidic bond. So this is a glycosidic bond, and let me see a pointer. Okay, so this is a glycosidic bond. We would be discussing it in the coming slide, but you have to keep in mind from here oligosaccharide may be a trisaccharide, disaccharide, or a tetrasaccharide or pentasaccharide on the basis of the number of carbohydrate they join with each other via glycosidic bond. So saccharose is a disaccharide and raffinose is a trisaccharide. So before going to the polysaccharide, I would be studying, means we would be discussing some important things here. We are going to clear some important concept here. So one is a chiral center, and we have already discussed in our previous lecture, but here we are going to discuss it again because it is important to discuss, because we are going to means study that how many isomers we are having for the carbohydrate. So a chiral center is a we can say it's a chiral center is an atom in a molecule that is surrounded by 4 different groups. So for example, in case of carbohydrate, we are having a simple carbohydrate here, that is glyceraldehyde, that is aldose sugar. It is aldotriose having 3 carbon atom. So we can see here this is a central carbon atom number 2. This is the central carbon atom that is joined with 4 different group. So a chiral center is a center or is a carbon atom that is in a molecule that is surrounded by 4 different group. So when we are having a chiral center in a carbohydrate, if when we are having one chiral center in a carbohydrate molecule, so it means it would be having 2 stereoisomer. So how we can find it? We can calculate just it by using this formula 2n. So n is the number of chiral center. So if we are having a carbohydrate that is having one chiral center, so it means it would be having 2 stereoisomer. So 2 multiplied by n1, so it would be 2. So if I am talking about that how many chiral center we are having in D-glucose, so we have to find out that how many carbon atom in this D-glucose is surrounded by the different groups. So if I am talking about from this carbon atom, so we can see, so we are having this group that is different, one hydrogen that is different, one carbohydroxyl, and this is rest I will count it one group. So it is the one chiral center, and by doing so this is the second, third and fourth. So in D-glucose, that is a simple carbohydrate, that is a hexose sugar, that is a that is having 6 carbon. This is a 6 carbon sugar. So in case of 6 carbon sugar, we are having 4 chiral center. So if we are having 4 chiral center, so in case of the D-glucose, if D-glucose is having 4 chiral center, so glucose would be having 16 stereoisomer. 8 would be the D and 8 would be the L. So this is how we calculate the chiral center in a molecule. We find the chiral center in a molecule, and by finding the chiral center or counting the chiral center, we would be counting that how many stereoisomer the molecule or the molecule and the compound would be having. So now we are going to study here that what is D and what is L sugar. So as I have studied, we discuss here that carbohydrate is having 16 stereo. This D-glucose is having 16 stereoisomers, and 8 would be the D and 8 would be the L. So what are stereoisomer? We have already discussed in our previous lecture, but here I am again repeating it. Stereoisomerism is the way, means the arrangement, how the atom in a molecule arrange their self in space. So in case of the means 16 stereoisomers of glucose, it means 8 are 8 are D and 8 are L stereoisomer. So what does it mean? We would be so we will be seeing here. So what is a D and L designation, or D and L sugar? So for example, we are taking here an example of D-glyceraldehyde or L-glyceraldehyde. So it is a aldose sugar. It is having a D-glyceraldehyde is aldose sugar. It is having 3 carbon atom, and we can see here it is having 1 chiral center. Why? Because it is having 4 different group around this carbon atom. So once we are seeing that this hydroxyl group on right hand side, so it would be D-glyceraldehyde and D sugar. But if this group change its position in space into the left hand side, so it would be L sugar. So similarly, if I am talking about the glucose that is having 16 stereoisomers, so it means that their 8 would be 8 means molecule of glucose would be having this hydroxyl on one side, means left side, and 8 would be those who would be having right side. So, and one thing more we need to find out here, it is the perspective formula that is showing by this dash dash, and means the bond showing by this way, means in a dash we using the dash line, and the Fisher formula we use the dash, we write the bond with the line, solid line. So these are two type of formula that we encounter when we are talking about the carbohydrate and making their structures. So now we have to discuss, we have already discussed here, and one thing more we want to discuss, that we have discussed D and L sugar, and one thing more, that D and L sugars are mirror images of each other. So we can see here one example. What does mean by mirror images? Means they, when they come, means when we place them across each other, so they would be, their means group would be ligand with each other. So the D and L glucose are always mirror images with each other. So what are the epimers? Epimers are these are also the isomers or stereoisomer of the glucose. So when in the isomers the groups around only one carbon atom change in two different means isomers, so they will be the epimers of each other. So let's take an example here. We are having D mannose and we are having D glucose. So we can see there in the D mannose hydroxyl group in the left hand side, and the D glucose hydroxyl group is on right hand side. So except then this C2 means position of hydroxyl at C2, there is not any change in the position of any other hydroxyl of group in any around any other carbon atom. So what are epimers? Epimers are those stereoisomers in that the groups only change around only one carbon atom. So these would be epimers. So we are having another example of epimers. We are having D-glucose and D-galactose. So we can see from here in the D-galactose hydroxyl group at C4 position is on left hand side. However, in D-glucose it is on right hand side. So we have a well studied that what are epimers. Epimers are those stereoisomers in that the group only means functional group or the group only change around one carbon atom. However, all other group around other carbon atoms, position of other group around all other carbon atom remains same. So now we are going to study that how we can name carbohydrate. So it is very simple and very interesting, the way we name the carbohydrate. So we start from the very simple one, three carbon sugar. So it is a three carbon sugar. We are having three carbon atom in that, 1, 2 and 3. And if a sugar is having three carbon, so we say it's triose, but we are saying here we would be adding the name of the group, functional group that it is having. So in case it is having a hydroxyl, means aldehydic group, so we will be saying it aldotriose. So the three carbon sugar is triose, four carbon sugar tetrose, and the five carbon atom sugar is pentose. So in case three carbon sugar that is having aldehydic group, we will be giving the name like this, aldotriose. And then it is with the other way we can say it is a diglyceraldehyde, and because this hydroxyl group is present on right hand side. And if aldose sugar is 4 carbon atom, we say it's aldotetrose. And it is also D sugar, because the hydroxyl group is present on the right hand side. But in right now we will say it's a erythrose. And then if a sugar is having 5 carbon with the aldehyde group, or it is a aldo sugar, so we will be saying it's aldopentose. And again the hydroxyl group is on right hand side, so we will be saying it's a D-ribose. And if a sugar is having 6 carbon atom with a keto group, so we will be saying it ketohexose, and its name other name is fructose. And if a sugar is having 6 carbon atom with a ketone group, with a aldehyde group, so we will be saying it's aldohexose. So D-glucose is an aldohexose. And yeah, so this is the how we name them. And once we are going to name them, we have to keep in mind that either it is having aldo sugar, aldehyde group, or a ketone group, or how many carbon atom the sugar is having, plus the hydroxyl group is at what side, or left hand side or the right hand side. So the hydroxyl group that is farthest from the aldo group or the keto group, at what side, either it is right hand side or it is the left hand side. So now we are going to discuss about the disaccharide, and we are going to see how that glycosidic bond are formed and what is this glycosidic bond. So this glycosidic bond is formed because of the removal of the hydroxyl group from one means sugar, and removal of the hydroxyl group from one sugar and the hydrogen atom from the other sugar. And this is a condensation reaction, and in that two molecule of sugar remove a water molecule and they join with each other, and and they make a disaccharide. So once we need to split this sugar disaccharide into monosaccharide, we have to add a water molecule across this bond, and this reaction would be a hydrolysis reaction. So this is the 1,4-glycosidic bond. So now we are going to discuss about the polysaccharide. What are polysaccharide? If we are having more than 20 monomeric carbohydrate unit that are joined with each other via glycosidic bond, so they will be a polysaccharide. So let's clear idea here. If we are having only one sugar, if we are having only one 6 carbon atom molecule that are having either aldehyde group or ketonic group with multiple means hydroxyl or multiple keto, so that is simple carbohydrate. So if we are having 6 carbon atom sugar with a aldehydic or ketonic group without any bond, that would be a monomer or monosaccharide. And if these monosaccharide, two or more monosaccharide join with each other, means 2 till 20, from 2 to till 20 monosaccharide, either 2 or means till the 20 monosaccharide join with each other via glycosidic bond, so they would be a oligosaccharide, maybe a disaccharide, trisaccharide, and vice versa. However, if more than 20 monomer would join with each other via glycosidic bond, so they would be a polysaccharide. So here it is showing only 3 monosaccharide, but it is that join with a glycosidic bond, but it is this is the part of this picture. So let's see here, in case of starch is a polysaccharide, so each small bead is showing one simple carbohydrate unit that is joined with other carbohydrate unit via glycosidic bond. So let's see here, this is starch is a polysaccharide that are having several carbohydrate unit that are joined with each other via glycosidic bond. So polysaccharide may be a homopolysaccharide or heteropolysaccharide. So if a polysaccharide is having only one type of a monomeric carbohydrate unit that are joined with the glycosidic bond, so they are homopolysaccharide. But if the polysaccharide is having 2 or more than 2 different type of monomeric carbohydrate unit that are joining with each other via glycosidic bond, so they would be a heteropolysaccharide. But homo and heteropolysaccharide may be branch or unbranched. So if homopolysaccharide is having a short chain polysaccharide unit joined with each other, so they will be a branch homopolysaccharide. And if we are having a long chain of polysaccharide that is having different monomeric unit joined with each other, but still in that string of heteropolysaccharide we are having another small short chain of polysaccharide that is joined with it, so it would be a branch heteropolysaccharide. So we are having here few example of homo and heteropolysaccharide. So for example, starch is a homopolysaccharide, glycogen is a homopolysaccharide, and cellulose and chitin, all these are homopolysaccharide because they are having only one type of monomeric carbohydrate type unit that are joined with each other. And glycogen and starch are storage homopolysaccharide or storage carbohydrate or storage polysaccharide. However, chitin and cellulose are structural polysaccharide. So for the heteropolysaccharide we are having peptidoglycan, that is a heteropolysaccharide, and it is an important component of the cell wall of the bacteria, and we and it provide the support means to the bacterial cell. So here we are having an example of polysaccharide, that is starch, and some glycogen molecule that we can see here. These are homopolysaccharide. And we are having some other example of homopolysaccharide like amylose. We can see here the same type of monomeric unit are joining with each other via a glycosidic bond. These are homopolysaccharide. And amylopectin, this is the amylose is a unbranched homopolysaccharide. It is not having any branch. However, these amylopectin, it is also a homopolysaccharide. Um, yeah, so it is it is also a homopolysaccharide. And now glycogen is a glycogen is a storage carbohydrate that is stored in the form of the energy in animals. And dextrin is found in the bacteria and yeast. And we are having some homopolysaccharide more here that are served as a structural unit. For example, we are having cellulose, and it is linear unbranched homopolysaccharides, and it is having beta 1,4 linkages between the glucose. And we are having a chitin that is linear homopolysaccharide, and it is having beta linkages. And chitin is found on the surface of means on the it is served as a exoskeleton of the insects. And we are having heteropolysaccharide, that is the peptidoglycan. It is a heteropolysaccharide, and it is present on the cell on the bacterial cell wall, or it is outer surface of the bacteria. And we are also having lectin, that are carbohydrate binding protein. So we are having some carbohydrate binding protein that allow the cell to recognize by different type of other important biological molecule. So we are having lectin, that are carbohydrate binding protein. We are having selectin, these are also protein, and they serve as a recognition molecule. So now we are going to discuss about the important function of carbohydrate. So carbohydrate are important source of energy. So in our body, the primary source of energy is the carbohydrate. And if we are not having carbohydrate in our body, so we use fat as a source of energy. So polysaccharide such as starch and glycogen, these are hydrolyzed and provide us energy. And once carbohydrate oxidize, they form carbon dioxide and water, and they release energy. So first source of energy is in our body is a carbohydrate. And carbohydrate also function as a storage food in the plant in the form of starch, and in our liver carbohydrate is stored as a glycogen. And once we are not having energy, so this glycogen give us energy. And carbohydrate in the form of cellulose provide the a shape of our plant cell, and it serve as a cell wall, and it means it provide the shape and the to the cell, and it also serve as a protective protection for the some organism like chitin. Use is a carbohydrate that used by different insect for the protection. And carbohydrate, for example, heparin is another carbohydrate that is a polysaccharide that act as an anticoagulant and prevent intravascular clottings. And in our body, for example, FSH and LH, these are the hormones, these are the glycoprotein, that are involved in our reproductive processes. And carbohydrate also used in industry like textile industry and in the paper industry. And carbohydrate also used in the culture media to grow the different microorganism over these media. And carbohydrate also present in our joint as hyaluronic acid that serve as a synovial fluid in our joint and protect our joint um, uh, uh, from getting frictions or allow the frictionless movement. And carbohydrates serve also uh, as a recognition molecule, and they are involved in cell recognition and cell addition recognition. So carbohydrates are present in combination with the protein over the cell surface, and these protein like the glycoprotein are recognized by different bacteria or different type of bacteria. they they attach with these and then engulfed by the cell. So this was all about the carbohydrate. We have already discussed about the general definition of carbohydrate, how they classify, how what are the different type of carbohydrate, how we can name them. So for you I am going to study means combine summing up again all the lecture. So carbohydrate are polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketone. They are having they are having two broad type. One is aldoses, other is ketosis. On the basis of group that they are having different classes like monosaccharide, polysaccharide, oligosaccharide. Monosaccharide are simple sugar that are having 6 carbon atom in addition with aldehyde or ketone group. Oligosaccharide are having 2 to 20 monomeric carbohydrate that are joined with each other via glycosidic bond. However, polysaccharide are having more than 20 monomeric carbohydrate that join with each other via glycosidic bond. And carbohydrate are serve different function in our body. They may be act as a synovial fluid. They are the primary source of energy. They perform as a protective function in case of the bacterial cell wall or in case of the exoskeleton of different insects. So for your more understanding, you can go and read from the Laringer Principle of Biochemistry. And 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 this was all my lecture. I hope you like it. Thank you very much for your kind consultation. Take care.